yeah, I think, I guess the next thing we move on to is obviously we've got a new Pokemon set in English, Obsidian Flames. You've opened up some of that. How was that for you?
Yeah, I have actually, which is weird because yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a very long time since I've opened a Pokemon booster box. I actually don't know what the last set was. Um, it reminded me why I don't open much Pokemon, to be honest. I opened a booster box. The best hit was like I got the full art trainer, but she's not worth much. Um, and for me, like I'm not that fast on the full art trainers, to be honest. I also got like a gold card. It's just a picture of a place. Like it looks nice. Like don't get me wrong, like the card itself, like the foiling and texture on it is nice, but it's not a Pokemon. So yeah, my booster box reminded me why I just don't enjoy it that much. But I did open an ETB and then I did hit two Charizards. I didn't hit the chase one. I hit the full art one, I think, and then just the EX one, which was fun. The print quality was absolutely abysmal. My promos in the ETB were scratched to pieces on the back, like they've been run over by a car. The Charizard had a dent in it at the bottom, so even if I grade it, it's probably a PSA 6. Obviously, I've opened Weiss and things like that for quite some time, so going back to that low level print quality, it absolutely like I'm so surprised that a mammoth company like Pokemon allow that print quality. Like you go to Weiss Schwarz and the print quality is high, but if there are any issues, like if you get cards that have like weird misprint damage on, you can actually like contact them and they will replace that card for you. And that that's
Yeah.
Bushy Road. That's a company that's pretty hard to contact and pretty just random in the way that they do things. But in terms of the quality, like not only is the quality high, but you can replace cards that come damaged. But the fact that like I opened that and that was the quality I got was just it was shocking, to be honest. But yeah, I mean the ETB did me good. I know the Charizard's like super cheap already. Like the best one you can get, I think it's already at like £70, which is cheaper than a booster box. Again, I don't know if that's me being used to Weiss Schwartz and the $1,000 price tag of their chase cards or not. But yeah, what do you think? Have you opened any?
I haven't opened any. I've got two cases behind me that just turned up this morning. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess it sums it up really, honestly. And I apologize for those that are really into Pokemon watching this because it has been a Pokemon themed episode. But I do apologize to the people that just, I don't know what the term is, but they love Pokemon basically. And they'll open up every set. They'll spend hundreds on every single set trying to chase the car. Like for people that are collecting binder sets of these Pokemon sets, I applaud you because I know there are people still out doing that, and you deserve a medal because it's virtually impossible to complete these sets, but somehow these people do just because of how big they are. I think there's specific cards in the set that I really want. The Cleffa, the Ninetales, they look really nice. There's a Spoink as well, which I think turned up this morning. So I'll have a look at that and put in my Spoink binder. But yeah, I don't know. Like as you said, I mean, I open up a lot of Magic the Gathering. The quality on that is really good. Flesh and Blood isn't the most amazing print quality, honestly. Like there are a lot of issues with Flesh and Blood in terms of like not necessarily like centering issues and that, but the corners sometimes are chipped and stuff where it's got a black background for the border. It's quite easy to get that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's still a lot better than Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon's the worst print quality out of any imprint card game, honestly. And how, considering they release so many products, like they're always releasing a product every 5 seconds, they're always trying to sell you something, a new collection box of Pokemon that you've never heard of and don't care about. And I think what they did with Scarlet and Violet, I really enjoyed changing the borders. The holo per pack with two reverse holos makes it easier to collect the set if you're doing like a master set with reverses. The illustration character rares or whatever they're called, they're just stunning. Honestly, they really are. But you know, the print quality is bad. And I did see the post that you made about that Charmander, and I did laugh to myself a little bit because I was like, you can't make it up. It's just they're just Pokemon's so big now, and I don't know if it will get better because it's been like this for a couple of years now, right? It's not like print quality's been very up and down and inconsistent. And it seems as if they do one set great and the next set is just bad. I think they're just trying to churn out product as fast as they can. And let's be honest, people are going to buy it anyway. It's got 4 Charizards in it.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's it. Like if they were ever going to sort that out, it would have been done by now. You know, and obviously some sets, it's never going to be the same going forward. There's always like a set here or there where print quality seems to be worse, and then it seems to be good, and or better, not good necessarily. But you know, it's always up and down. But yeah, you'd think at this point, if they could have done something about that, they probably would have. Other than all of those bad things that we've just said about the set, there was one thing that I did like about the set, alongside what you just mentioned with some of those illustration rares, was the fact that the pull rates seem to be quite high on this set. Like, it seems to be quite common. You can open a booster box or an ETB and hit at least one of the Charizards, or if not 2. So I do like that. I personally like the fact that it's not ridiculously hard to get those hits, and obviously that contributes to the fact that the cards are fairly cheap, because the hit rate is just much better than some of the previous sets that they've done. And me personally, I prefer it like that. I'd rather it be a lot easier to hit those chase cards, and yeah, the price is lower for those chase cards, but it, as an opening experience, I feel like it's just more fun, that you've got a much better chance of hitting the special chase cards. I like that a lot going forward. But yeah, what do you think? Do you prefer those harder chases or the easier ones?
I think this will follow up into a question as well anyway, but I like the fact you can get multiple hits. It does make the experience a lot more fun, obviously, when opening. But I think the downside is there needs to be a card per set that is just... I guess I'm just used to with Flesh and Blood that you have a Fabled rarity, and trying to pull that in cold foil is ridiculous. It will take you hundreds of boxes sometimes to try and get a cold foil Fabled.
Yeah.
So I think I like the rarity system in other card games, in Flesh and Blood and stuff like that. And I really like the rarities for Union Arena, honestly, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I think with Pokemon, I've enjoyed opening up for the most part whatever I have opened in the last couple of months. I can't really remember what I've opened, but I've opened some bits, and I generally do, I have enjoyed it, and I like the reverse holo pattern on these cards as well. But I think what I'm interested to see is, so if we go to Scarlet Violet base, the most expensive card in that set is the Miriam, which is around £45 to £50. The most expensive card in the second set is that Iono female trainer again. She's worth about £30. And then we've obviously at the moment got this Charizard, which is, as you said, around £70. That will probably drop to around £40, £50. It might have a bit of a premium in terms of the female trainers just because it's a Charizard, and it does look quite cool. But what value do these boxes have? Like, in a year's time, if these boxes are the same price and the singles have dropped even more because people have sold them and they're not really collecting, what value does it have to open up the box? Like, aside from going, well, we can have some fun on that, but spending £120, £130 on a box, it's still a lot of money for the average person. Like, that's still, 130 quid's quite expensive for 10 minutes of fun. So what do you think in terms of the next 12 months? I'm not talking about sealed product. I'm not talking about in terms of like keeping it sealed, because we know that how well sealed can do over time. But in terms of like open experience, do you think the experience is better now when the set comes out versus in 12 months' time?
What do you mean? Sorry, like opening that box now versus opening it in a year's time.
Do you think there's basically any value to open up how they're evolved in 12 months' time? Like, do you reckon people will still be doing it?
No. Oh, I think they'll only be doing it if it's the cheapest set going.
Yeah.
So I think when booster boxes don't do well, like we go back to Chilling Reign when it came out, or Battle Styles, I think they become the cheapest boxes, and then they become quite an easy buy for someone who just wants a fix of opening packs, or perhaps they're buying a gift for someone, and it's like, I could buy this £130 booster box, or I could buy this one for £90. I'll get the £90 one, it's £40 cheaper. They still get 36 packs of Pokemon cards. I don't know the difference because, I don't know Pokemon. I'm just buying it for, my kid or something. Things like that. I think when it's really cheap, it just gets bought because it's the cheapest. But yeah, it's a weird one because when the chase card, I've been out of Pokemon for so long, but is the chase card normally cheaper than just one booster box?
I think, yeah, I guess recently it has, but you look at, Sword and Shield, not really. You got those alt arts that are hundreds. Most of the most sets came out with an alt art that was over £100. But even now, still.
On release, though, was that on release?
No, even if you look at it now, the Moltres from Chilling Reign's over 100 still. That never really dropped. Like, they dropped from 200, but you've got, when the most expensive card on release is 70 quid, we know famously 3 months after a set, over the course of the 3 months period, cards just drop value and value. And
yeah.
Then cards will start to adjust and some cards will go up as people realize, actually, this is a lot harder to pull and it's a really nice card. But when I think in terms of if a card is 70 quid on release and that's the most expensive card of that set, for me, I have no desire to open Obsidian Flames because, I know the Charizards look cool, don't get me wrong, but it's there's no value in opening it for me. But I don't know. I don't know if that's just because I look at it a different side.
Yeah, I guess the only other value is that you pull it yourself. That's the only value we're not touching on, is that you get the experience of pulling the chase cards yourself. That's the only difference. Not everyone, I guess, looks at it from the box is £100, the chase card's 70. I could just buy the chase card, spare myself 30 quid, or just buy 30 quid worth of packs to open. I think people want that experience of opening it themselves. At least I know I have in the past, and that's why I used to just buy 1 or 2 boxes to open, and then if I didn't hit the card I want, then potentially I'll go buy it. Same with White Straws, same with most TCGs I collect, if I'm honest with you, because obviously chasing to pack a card yourself is not cost effective, but you still want the fun of opening at least one box. So yeah, I think that's where the value comes from. But yeah, 12 months down the line, once the people who wanted to open the box have already opened it, what's its value? I don't know. I think at that point it's just sealed collectability, potentially. I think maybe that's the only value it has.
Yeah, I think definitely Obsidian Flames seems like it has a more potential in terms of sealed collecting or investing versus Scarlet Violet and Paldea Evolved. I think all 3 sets are quite cheap. I've already seen people selling Obsidian Flames now for £105 a box. So it'll be interesting to see in 6 months' time, will any of the first 3 Scarlet Violet sets be over £100? Because they'll most likely still be in print. Obviously, we got one next 6 months.
Or yeah, no, I wouldn't say so. I would say no.
And I don't think so either. I think, yeah. I've seen cases now for probably close to a wholesaler price, honestly,
Yeah.
that people are getting from
Yeah.
distribution, which is a great opportunity to buy if you're buying sealed, right? If you're looking at a long-term hold, then these, especially the late Sword and Shield sets that got reprints like Silver Tempest, probably Lost Origins, and these first couple of Scarlet Violet sets are probably really good opportunities to buy.